Hey there, Nick Genetakis here. In this video, let's take a look at 3 different website features that you can implement using Jekyll. And Jekyll is a static site generator written in Ruby, and it's also what GitHub recommends to use if you decide to use GitHub Pages, and that's no surprise because Jekyll was created by one of the founders of GitHub. Although to be completely honest with you, if you prefer using Hugo or Gatsby or other static site generators, as long as they support including files, then all of these features should be able to be used with any static site generator. And in this video, we're going to go over 3 different features, and those features are creating some type of table of contents where if you click the link there, it drops you down to that point in the page. Another feature is dropping in an affiliate link notice at the top or bottom or anywhere you want for any pages that happen to have affiliate links. And the third feature will be embedding a YouTube video into your site, but this also would work for Vimeo or really embedding whatever media that you feel like. And the common ground for all of these features is really just including files. So let's get right into it. So my website here is just on my drive here, I'm opening it up in Vim. So Jekyll has this concept of having an underscore includes folder, and this is where you can put in files that you would like to include. And I'm going to start with the affiliate notice because that one is the easiest one to implement. And if we take a look here, it just has if the page has this property of has affiliate link, then it just outputs this paragraph with a horizontal ruler. And if I go back to my page here, to this blog post here, which is the tools I use, which happens to have a whole bunch of affiliate links to some products that I have for like audio equipment and all that fun stuff. But this affiliate notice, what you see here is that code that we were just looking at. And here's a fun fact. I recently posted an article on my site here about why the Amazon Basics keyboard is my favorite keyboard. And the only reason I wrote this post was I've been using this keyboard for close to 5 years, and it recently started to die out on me. One of the keys started to stick. So I went on a little hunt to find a new keyboard, and I just ended up buying the same one again. So then I started thinking to myself, like, well, why did I buy the same one again? And, I came up with all these like little metrics in my mind, like, what makes a keyboard good? And I just started listing things like being quiet, being tactile, easy to clean and all this other stuff. So I wrote this little blog post, and I ended up posting it on Hacker News a couple of days ago, and I got pretty lucky and it ended up being on the front page for quite a while. Lots of comments on this post, which is no surprise because, keyboards are a pretty subjective, like opinionated thing, although there are some facts, right? Like, imagine if you had a keyboard that was like 100 miles long. Clearly, that's not going to be too good for typing. But one thing and the only reason I'm bringing this whole entire story up is, 3, 4, 5 different people made a comment saying that, hey, I noticed on your blog post you're using affiliate links, but you did not make a notice anywhere on your site that you're using them. And, I totally, wow, my nose is itchy. I totally agree with that. I think it's a great idea to have these affiliate link notices here. I just didn't do it on my site. I had it in other spots on my site, but it was not obvious. So now I decided to make it obvious. So every single post now that contains one or more affiliate links will get this little output here that just says like, this post contains an affiliate link, like blah, 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 blah. No one asks me to write these posts about like this Amazon keyboard. Like Amazon didn't email me. They're like, wow, Nick just bought this keyboard. We better go ask him to make a blog post about it. It's nothing like that. Out of 250 blog posts on my site, like 15 or 16 of them happen to have an affiliate link, and it's for things like DigitalOcean or NameSilo. DigitalOcean is where I host my site. NameSilo is where is my domain registrar. And it's like, sure, I wrote a 2,000-word article on why I moved to NameSilo. I might as well drop an affiliate link, but now at least it's super front and center, super clear that it's there. So that was kind of like the use case of why I decided to even add this into my site. So if you happen to have affiliate links on your site, might be a good idea to drop in that just to keep, just to make people understand, your motive or incentives for the post. In my case, it's not for selling the keyboard, but I just want to differentiate myself from people who don't know me to let them know that, this is not like a scammy affiliate site where I just want to make a quick buck. So with that said, using Jekyll, let me actually bring up that, I'm going to bring up the tools I use blog post. So, and I will open that below this just so we can see some stuff at the same time. But we can see over here, I got to keep looking down because despite writing a post on keyboards, I am not a home row typist. I type like a maniac. I don't need to look that much at my keyboard, but hitting weird things like an asterisk or whatever, I have to look down once in a while. So the idea here is I have this file on top, right? In that includes folder, affiliate notice.html. And there's the if statement here, like if the page has affiliate link, which I defined up here inside of the blog post itself for the tools I use. I have this property has affiliate link and I set it to true. So this post has affiliate links, so I manually added this. And by the way, in Jekyll, this concept, let me just make this a little bit bigger. This concept of having like YAML declarations at the top of a blog post or a page is called a front matter. And you can pretty much put whatever properties that you want here and then access them throughout your Jekyll site. So in this case, they're in this like page namespace. So since I have it defined like this, I can just look for that in other areas of the page because we don't want this affiliate notice to come up for other blog posts that don't have affiliate links. Likewise, like the table of contents, that quick jump thing that I talked about earlier, that does the same exact thing, and we'll go over that one in a little bit. So that's the idea. So if you have a Jekyll site, just add some property that you want at the top. It could be named whatever you want. In your includes folder, you drop in this, and let me just go ahead and go back to my sidebar over here and just go over the last piece of the puzzle here to make this whole entire thing work. Because now you might be wondering, like, how do you get the thing to actually come up in the blog post itself? And for that, Jekyll has this concept of layouts, and you can create as many layouts as you want, but I have one for, I think it's under post. Let me double check that. Yep, it is. Now I gotta look down again, and I'll make this a little bit bigger. So what we're looking at here on the top is a specific blog post. So we can see here we have like updated on, and then I'm actually using include again here to include a formatted date, but I'm not going to cover that one on this video, but it's the same concept of include files. But I have this updated, the page title, the image, the description, and if I go back to the page here, that's this over here. So we have like the updated at, the title, the image, and the description. And then also we have like this quick jump and the affiliate link notice. And if I go back to here, there's the quick jump and there's the affiliate notice. And both of them are being implemented in the same exact way. It's just including the file that I want to include in this specific layout. So now every single post will have that affiliate notice if it happens to be flagged as having an affiliate link. And what was really cool about the affiliate link one, too, is now me as a site owner, if I open up a new window here, if I actually grep for, affiliate link recursively in my posts directory, I can get a complete list of every single blog post that I have that happens to have an affiliate link. And, using the power of Unix pipes here, I can do a word count on that. And there we go. We can see that there are 16 ones total that happen to have an affiliate link. And if I go back to my site here, I actually do have a running count of blog posts that's automatically tallied up by Jekyll when I build the site. But you can see here I have about 243 posts with 16 affiliate links. Not too bad of a ratio. So that's how I implemented an affiliate link notice. And you can do the same thing on your site, even if you're using a different static site generator. So now let's go over the quick jump, because the quick jump is something that I don't see too often on too many sites, but it's basically just a table of contents, and I find it to be pretty useful, especially in longer posts like this where you're scrolling down and down. Well, in this case, the scroll bar is pretty big because a lot of people made some comments here, but it is nice just to be able to be like, oh wow, I landed on this page, let me learn a little bit more about this page. Oh yeah, let's see what's up with the computer, desk, and phone. Oh, okay, there we go. So now I can read about that, and then I can hit back because, it's just using named anchors. Up here, I'll zoom in so you can see it a little bit better, but, hashtag notable apps, and it just jumps down to that point in the page, anchor-wise. Okay, so let's take a look at how that one's implemented. So we know the whole entire pattern of how include files work, and if I go to the sidebar again up here, now we can see this quick jump.html, same same idea as affiliate notice. And in this case, instead of doing a check for has affiliate link true, I just do, if the page has a table of contents, which is pretty important because in my case, I have these longer blog posts, right? But I also have this idea of having Docker tips and tricks. So like fixing obscure Docker daemon errors. In this case, there's no table of contents because I try to keep these, I'm zoomed in a lot, by the way. That's not what my site normally looks like. It normally looks like this, but I wanted to make it readable on video. But yeah, like this tip is very short. I try to keep my Docker tips really, really isolated, really, really short. So not all posts have a table of contents. So the first thing I check, do we have a talk defined, which is basically up here. And this is, this is back to the tools I use blog post, where it's just a list of strings where each one happens to be a specific table of contents item. So if we have a talk defined, then I just have, some CSS markup to make it be blue how I like it. And then, I just output, there's the quick jump in bold. And then for title in page talk, and by the way, Jekyll uses a templating language called Liquid, and that's what we're looking at here. Your code editor probably has support for that syntax highlighting wise. You can see here that the file type is Liquid in Vim because I have a Liquid, or maybe it's a Jekyll plugin installed, one of the two. It's all in my dot files, and I will link to that in the description so you can check that out if you want the same exact Vim setup or pick things that you like from it. So, for title in page talk, which is basically this list of strings here, list of titles, you could say. The first thing I do is I just output the named anchor here, and I use Liquid Slugify filter to replace spaces with tabs and other URL characters that need to be replaced. So we just output the link there with the title itself. And if we go back to the page here, let me go back to one. Well, maybe I'll just go to this one instead, just so we can see. So we have, what is question-driven development? And if you look there in the bottom left of my browser, which I'll zoom into while I'm editing this video, we can see that we have, what is question-driven development at the end of the URL. So when I click it, I don't leave the page. I just jump down to the title of where it's defined. So that's how that works. And then I also use, I don't know if you're familiar with Ruby or some other languages, they have this idea of using unless. So it's basically like if not. So like this could have been written like if for loop.last equals false, then we just add the pipe character to separate these items in the list. So if I go back up to here, you can see that little pipe character is in between each title, but it's not at the very end because we don't want to have that hanging pipe at the end. That would be pretty lame. So I just do that. But yeah, with Ruby and Liquid, the templating language for Jekyll, unless is pretty nice. I typically only use it when there's only like the true case, I guess you can say, of unless. Like I would never do unless else. Then I would just use if else, because otherwise unless else is like a negative if statement. It's very weird to read when it has an else. But so that takes care of the quick jump. Pretty useful feature in my opinion. I added that to my site, I don't even know, like a year ago, something like that. So now let's go over the third use case of using includes. And keep in mind, like there's way more than 3. You can see here, like there's one for dates, blog post tags and stuff like that. Like for example, I tag all of my blog posts, and then you can click a tag, and then it, you can get a filtered list of posts. But I'm not going to go over all of these on video because there's a lot of them and it would be never ending. But I kind of figured, when it comes to programming, at least, like seeing 3 examples is usually hopefully enough so that you can start applying this to custom things that you want on your site. And I think it's pretty cool though, just to understand that, like, this one little simple feature of including is allowing me to add little neat things on my site without really things getting crazy. So, well, actually, let me show you how this one works before we look at the code. So in this case, I had this one blog post, like upgrading a Dockerized Flask app. This actually is a YouTube video that I uploaded a couple weeks ago. And we can see it listed down here. If you click that, you would end up on YouTube. But I also have like a table of contents, reference links, and as a good citizen of the internet, I also put these timestamps as a pinned comment on YouTube, just because I'm a nice guy. And but anyways, we have this YouTube video here, and like as a blog writer, Like I don't want to have to go, let me actually open up that one down here. What is that? Flask Dockerize in posts, this one. Here we go. So like when I'm writing my blog posts, I do not want to have to like manually link to YouTube in every single blog post. It just becomes tedious. And then like if something changes about embedding a YouTube video, now suddenly I need to go to like, 40 different blog posts and update them. So like includes is like the exact use case for making all that work. I also just realized that I forgot to show you the other like last piece of the puzzle for the table of contents. I sort of took that for granted, but let me just show that right now. So we have this table of contents, right? And then it's like updating Python from blah, blah, blah. There's one of the titles. So the way I have this set up is, I just have, the receiving end of that anchor, which matches the title that we have in the include file, like the slugified version of it. And then it just becomes like an H3 on the page. And I'm just reading into the index of the talk, which is 0 index based. So if there were multiple items in that talk, I would just copy that and then put like a talk 1 for the next one and so on. So I'm not like hard coding the titles twice. They're only defined up here once. And then I just reference them down here on the page at any point in time. But anyways, let's go back to including the YouTube embed. So really, in the blog post itself or page, it could be whatever. I just include embed.html, which is what we see above here. And, you can also pass variables into include with Jekyll. I can't speak about Hugo or Pelican or Gatsby or whatever other crazy ones that are out there. But in this case, I have type YouTube and the UID, which is, well, I guess technically that's like the video ID, but I tried to make my embed include a little bit more generic. So you can see here on top, I have like, if include.type equals YouTube, where include, like this is just some liquid or Jekyll syntax where any variable that's prefixed with include dot means that it came from passing it in as an argument to include. So in this case, like the type is equal to YouTube. And you can see here, this is the only type that I have. I guess theoretically, I could have just not even used a type at all because I'm not really embedding Vimeo stuff or other videos into my site. But I figured, hey, you know what? It's like 2 lines of code and I really don't mind adding this there to every single post that happens to have an embed. Or maybe I can even make it default to YouTube, but whatever. In either case, if the type is YouTube, then I just output this div here. And, it's responsive, meaning like if I go to the page and just make it smaller, like the video also gets smaller, which is pretty cool because people on mobile, and other devices. So, and then I have the iframe here, which is really straight from YouTube's like share. So if you go to a YouTube video and like go to the embed part or whatever, they just give you this little snippet that you can take. And I just made some modifications to it to allow full screen. And I don't want like a frame border, but like, if you're on someone's website and you're watching the video, it's pretty nice to be able to just, resize this however you want and watch it here. Like, yeah. I mean, there's no reason why I should remove these controls. Like if you want to full screen it, you just full screen it and watch it on my site. Or, I mean, if you want to click the title, you can always watch it on YouTube directly as well. It's up to you, but I like having that option on my site so people can see it and do what they want. So, and then we have other things here, like I forget exactly what these arguments are for off the top of my head, but I will leave probably a pop-up just to explain what they are. But they are important. I remember putting them there, like it was quite important. I think one of these maybe are related to like the controls that you see on the video, like allowing you to access things like that. I'm gonna stop rambling and I'll just put the thing up on the screen. But anyways, we have this other variable here for the UID, which is the video ID for YouTube. Pretty standard stuff. I'm just passing it in as a variable into here, and that is it. So, that's 3 pretty unique features on a website that you can do all with the same pattern of just including files. And like, it's not unique because like no other website in the world has that, and I'm a super special snowflake. No, I just mean that like 3 completely distinct features, like affiliate link notices on a page, this embedding of any type of video media that you'd like, and then also dealing with like a table of contents, which I think is is worth putting on a blog, at least from a reader's perspective. I appreciate being able to just jump down and skim around without having to manually scroll down. So I hope you like this video. I'm just taking a shot here about putting it up. Like someone once asked me like, hey, how is your website written? And I was like, hey, it was in Jekyll. And he's like, yo, make some videos about Jekyll. So if you want to see more videos about Jekyll, there are so many things that I could make videos about. Like my whole site, it's been, when did I start this? Like 4, maybe 5 years ago. So I have a decent amount of experience with Jekyll. Like the site is pretty big, like 250 posts. I have like 100 drafts. Like there's a lot of stuff going on. So if you want to see that, drop a like, or also drop in some comments. Like let me know exactly what you want to learn. And with that said, I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.